Talk updates of 9:30 p.m. PST, July 16th, and we got subtropical depression dawn. Let's be honest, it's tropical. I mean, it's obvious. Um, but I say this because it's just not subtropical. I mean, let's be honest. It's under shear, but it definitely has a tight LSC, and it's tropical, and it's gonna be doing its loop over the next few days. I mean, let's look. Let's look at the model date. I mean, first we're gonna start with the track, of course. This is gonna take its loop in the tropical, subtropical Atlantic. I mean, over the next few days, probably strengthen back into a tropical storm. Be under more favorable conditions, which is in line with all the models. Yeah, all the models show this loop. Um, look at these intensity models. I mean, clearly going to strengthen into a tropical storm. Then some of the models even potentially taking up the hurricane strength. We'll have to see. I mean, historically, I mean, potentially, I mean, one system is Alberto of 2000. I watched which once it made a Simba loop. I mean, as it was heading westward and northwestward and northward, it became a pretty decent hurricane again. I mean, this potentially could actually become a pretty decent tropical storm. Maybe a slight chance of a hurricane long term. We'll have to see. I mean, right now I think probably about 20% chance of becoming a hurricane. Here's 120 hours. Here's at 5 days. I mean, a pretty robust system. Um, yep. Here's our next system. I mean, we're gonna be watching in the MDR. I mean, has been consistent over the last 4 or 5 days. I mean, and long term models are really hedging at this system beginning in the Western Atlantic and becoming a respectable storm. I mean, I'm maintaining my. I'm gonna say right now 30% in the next 7 days. There's 144, 168, 192, 1006 heading into the Caribbean. That's not as long as I want to go with it, but this could become quite the threat to the United States, in my opinion, if you want to believe the longer term models. But that's all I'm going to say right now. Next, we're looking at Tropical Storm Kelvin, which is weakening. It's a tropical storm. It's over 24 sea waters. Expected to increase a little bit, but it's going to have to deal with drier air and a stronger vertical shear. Will probably become a low-end tropical storm for its potential landfall into the, the Big Island of Hawaii. I mean, which is going to happen early Wednesday. Looks like about 35 to 40 knots. So all models show this, and yeah, that's pretty much what we think of it. It's very straightforward. We expect weakening and at the skirt, big island of Hawaii, and we call it a bit low and boom. Uh, Lastly, we got a system we've been watching. It has a 20% chance, but models are really backing off. GFS has backed off, so I have to say I agree with this 20%. I don't think there's an enormous chance, but hey, maybe it's this system right here, and so it's definitely something to watch. The Western Atlantic looks pretty quiet. Again, we're watching this system, but that's for a future talk update.